Hey everyone, and welcome to part two of riding the wave of creative momentum into 2024. I'm really enjoying getting on and sharing with you all. If you're there live, please say hello in the comments, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. I'd love to connect and participate, answer any questions that you might have, but most of all, have fun, because this is the season to be jolly, right? Yeah, my poor attempt of a joke there. So last week, if you haven't seen it in part one, we did an exercise called reflect and review, accept and acknowledge. And what this was really about was consolidating the year that's been. But you can actually use that simple methodology to reset your life at any point in time. Not only reset your life, but complete out on your weeks or your day or your months. This is a really powerful tool to bring your energy back to you, because in our humanness, right, we do make a lot of unconscious decisions that we don't follow through on, or we're not truly committed or devoted to following through because of, we might not want to hurt someone, so we agree to go along with them, or we're not sure of our direction, so we follow along with someone we see as more successful or more authority than us because we think, well, success leaves clues. Instead of actually, coming into a place of power and really identifying, what's true for me in the moment. And I want to speak more into that today. Today, we are going to be talking about moving forward into a state of free choice in terms of using free will and making high level decisions that enable you in having it all without doing it all. Just want to give you a heads up, I have got some notes today, so I will be looking away and doing a bit of reading just to help me stay on track with my time. So who's excited about the concept of having it all without doing it all? If that excites you, yeah, pop something in the comments. Let's have some energy between us, some interaction. And whilst you're popping that in the comments, I'll come back and reply and connecting with you that way. I'm going to keep moving, okay, so I can keep this, in a nice package for the people that are time poor, or the people that, value their time like myself and want to get the best out of the best and the most out of the shortest amount of time. So have you heard the saying, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate? This is a saying by Carl Jung. And I want to invite you to reflect on that for a moment. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Have you ever noticed how easily it is to one day, be super excited about where you're heading, making forward movement with what you want in your life, going for your dreams, going for, the path that is true for you. And all of a sudden you get so far, and then something comes out of nowhere and you kind of oscillate, you get pulled back into the old reality, or you get pulled back into some old ways of behaving, of making decisions that, keep you in the reality that you were making progress from, or you were moving forward on. And the reason this happens is because in our conscious, in our identity, we're in a place where we're unaware. What we don't know, right? And so when we're moving forward, sometimes what happens is that when we're on our path and we get excited, and as we start to move forward, or even before we move forward, what happens is some old thinking right? That you might not be aware of, some old thinking, some old belief systems, just start to play out in your reality automatically because you're not aware of them. And all of a sudden you might find, well, I don't even know how, how that happened. I don't even know. I'm aware I might have sabotaged myself, but I'm not even aware, right? And the reality is that in our subconscious, we have these beautiful automatic ways of programming of how we show up in the world, how we make our choices, all of these things, right? And I don't want to go too much into that, but we have these automatic ways of life that enable us to do life without having to think consciously about every single moment and every single thing. The thing with the patterns of behavior and how we show up, in the present is based on our past. They were formed in the past. Can anyone relate to that? You might relate to it like when you try to move forward, you just feel like you pull back. You might relate to it. You make a big move forward, and then all of a sudden something happens in your world that creates for you to move backwards, or to give up on what you want, or make it a struggle street, make it hard work. Like you feel like you've got to make it hard work to make it happen. Like there's a gravity, there's a force working against you. Or it might be you're showing up, let's say you're an actor and or a singer, and you're showing up, to get some gigs, to get a role. And it's rejection after rejection after rejection, And I want to invite you to look at this in a way that serves you. And that way that serves you is, we often can make these aspects mean something about us, mean that we failed, mean that we're not good enough, mean that, I need to work on my self-worth. You can make them mean something about us. And that is, our thoughts and emotions and belief systems that are in our subconscious mind, driving how we see ourselves, driving how we see others, and driving how we see the world. And this is our egoic structure, right? This is our identity. And we live in our identity. We orientate ourselves in our identity in the world. Let me know if you relate to this. Now, I'm going to offer a little bridge to moving beyond that. In the 3-hour immersion online called Elevate that I'm running in between Christmas and New Year, I'm going to offer something really powerful, but I'm going to offer you something now, right? Because you can change your life in a heartbeat. You can change your reality in a heartbeat, right? Because it all happens in the present, not the past. So I want to offer something up now for you to bring some awareness into your life and start making those shifts now. And when you come to the immersion Elevate, if you feel called, your mind's going to be blown with where you can shift into and how you can shift into a whole new reality with ease. So I want to share a little story with you. This was a story that was shared with me from a spiritual teacher who I spent about a week with once. And I loved it because it's a story. And the story goes that there's a beautiful mountain, it's in, say it's in Tibet. There's this beautiful mountain in Tibet. And on that mountain is, an incredible temple. And in the temple, there is a pathway to the temple, but in the temple, everyone who is in the temple, they're divinely connected to who they really are. They are fully aware of their divine nature, their true nature, their purpose, and, have full connection to all information through all time and space. They're wise. They have the ability to tap into wisdom beyond the perceived reality. And down below the mountain is a village. And this village is going around, people in the village are doing village life, totally unaware of what's possible for them. They're living day to day, the same old, same old. Many of them aren't even aspiring for anything else. And then halfway up the mountain, there are villages, like they see the temple. They see the possibility of, of heaven on earth for them. They see the opportunity of paradise, of this incredible way of life. And they're going up the hill, but they're sliding back down a bit and they can't quite get up. And some of them get up and then they, get amnesia and they go, oh, I want to go and play in the village again, right? And so this is how we relate in human life. We have our everyday life and we have desires and we have dreams. And sometimes we make ways forward and then we keep pulling, going back into the mediocrity, into the everyday life. And sometimes we get stuck in the mud in that village. And so I want to share with you, would you rather be stuck in the mud in the village, living the same old, would you rather be, climbing up the mountain, going forwards and backwards? Or would you rather be in the temple, in the mountain, where you know your greatness? You have the view of everything possible. And you can make the best decisions with the least effort in the creation of what you're here to create, of what you most love. Drop in the below. I'm really curious to see what your answer is. And I want to invite you to be curious about that. You can either be in the identity of your past, reliving it, or you can actually be in your greatness and identifying with your greatness and creating a new identity that is aligned with your true potential. And that's what's possible when you hang in the temple for a while. Yeah. And this is where the magic happens. So it all starts with a decision. High-level decisions bring high-level results in your life. And in any moment, you can make a decision, a new decision, one born of love, one born of truth, and one born of wisdom. And not many people say this, or maybe people do. I don't know. I'm presuming. My identity is presuming. Three decades ago, I made a strong conscious decision. And from that moment, something opened up inside of me that brought high-level decisions. radically change the directory of my life. Went on a journey of questioning what was in the unconscious, directing my fate. And I made new choices, some of them very bold at the time, but new choices that define myself, others, and the world, and the true potential. You know, I showed up, you know, in my true potential. I showed up from the place of having that divine union within myself. And when you have that, the impossible becomes possible. And I'm going to be sharing some stories of clients in Elevate that will blow your mind. And I'd love for you to join me. I'm going to pop the link below. But for now, the tip is start making conscious choices that are born of love, truth, and wisdom. Big love. I'll see you next week.